We are recording and we are ready to start today's AI workshop for printers, Build Better Thinkers with Scenario-Based Learning. So we'll kick it off here and get you started. My name is Dave Halton. If you don't know me, I'm the President of Marketing Ideas for Printers. I'm also a member of Simple Academy, and Simple is a community of the world's leading experts on AI skill development. At Simple, our mission is to guide you through the transition to an AI-powered economy, and my job is to help you as a commercial printer navigate that transition. And the way that we fulfill our mission is we help you become an AI workflow master. That's my job, is to help guide you on that journey to become an AI workflow master. So before we get too far into it, we need to take just a moment to say, what is an AI workflow master? Well, to be perfectly clear, that's a term that my AI community, the Simple community, that we've invented to create kind of a shared language around this idea. And this is what we mean to become an AI workflow master. If we take a look at this post from Andrew Wilkinson, he's a billionaire that he runs an internet holding company. You can think of him like the Warren Buffett of internet companies. This is his post on X for an AI first director of finance. And it's not a post for hype. He's running a serious business and hiring for a serious role. And the punchline of his post, he's looking for someone that can do the work of 10 people by using AI. And that's the reality of today, is people applying for jobs, they need to demonstrate that they can do the work of 10 people with the assistance of AI. Okay, so that means a few things. That means that in your current role, you can do the work of 10 people by using AI. It also implies that in future roles, you'll be able to learn new roles and skills 10 times faster. And it also comes with the idea of a certification that you can actually prove that you can do that kind of a work with AI. So that's what gets all bundled up into this term that we call workflow masters. Okay, so we're going to learn today by doing and learn through doing with AI. And we'll have an exercise to kick this off very shortly. And that reminds me, I need to get my chat window open so that we can do that. And you will be grabbing some information from that chat window as well. But let's use that chat window right now and give me some ideas of why you're here and how you and your team are using AI. So first step is just to get ready a little bit later on, make sure that you have your favorite AI tool ready. That can be ChatGPT, it can be Claude by Anthropic, Google Gemini, any of them. And so we'll be hands-on because it's a big difference between just passively consuming the information and proactively participating in the workshop. So I do want you to participate. If you don't have a favorite AI tool yet, just go to chatgpt.com and create an account. It takes about 30 seconds. If today's your starting point, there it is. Go to chatgpt.com. Let's move on to the second part, step 2, the multiple choice question there. See, we've already got an answer. That's great. So glad to see that. So go ahead and drop in how you and your team are using AI today. Is it you're using AI, but your team does not? B is a few people on your team are using AI casually. C, my team has a structured approach for using AI. Or maybe you're here because of D, that you don't have a team and you're working solo. So I do see some responses drifting in, and that's great. Keep them on coming. Good. I see them all coming in here. Just need to see that you're here because the price of admission today is nothing more than your time. So I just need to know that you're ready to proceed. So I'll just create a little more awkward silence to wait for a few more answers to drop into the chat, just to prove that you can get to the chat. And we're seeing a few there. Okay, we've got enough. I don't need to create much more awkward silence than that. We've got good audience participation. Thanks for doing that. So we're going to set the stage for the agenda a little bit here. And what we're going to talk about is this progression from a simple prompt to a prompt upgrade to a workflow prompt. And I'm just going to kind of briefly go over those in a little bit of detail, not a lot. We'll save more of the detail for the workshop itself here. But just the ideas that we're looking at here is a simple prompt. That's where everyone starts. I always call that the tell me a knock knock joke way of using AI. You can do that. AI will indeed tell you a knock-knock joke. And you can find the simple prompt anywhere. You can make up your own. We feature one at AI4printers.com. It's what starts this path here. Honestly, I hope you never use that simple prompt that you find there because it's too simple. And that's why we do the upgraded prompt. It's the upgraded version of that simple prompt. It's smarter. It asks you to provide more context so AI can be more helpful. That's the one you can also get at AI4printers.com. And I'll be dropping it into the chat here in a moment as well. And then finally, the AI workflow prompt. That's where you can get real, meaningful work done with AI. You'll get today's AI workflow prompt at the end of the workshop so we can all work on it together. All right, so here is the simple prompt, and this one really is simple. I'm going to just drop it into the chat so that you can have it. And like I said before, I almost kind of want you to not use it just because it is simple. But having said that, I do have it pre-run here. I pre-run all of those. And so the simple prompt that we just put out there is create a short, realistic what-if scenario to help a print shop employee practice good decision-making. The scenario should describe a real-world situation, present 2 or 3 possible decisions, and show how each choice could lead to a different outcomes. And there it is. That's what we asked AI to do. It gives us the scenario, didn't give us any opportunity to influence the scenario. It just go ahead and gave us that scenario. 3:45 on a Friday afternoon, and a longtime client, a local restaurant, calls in a panic. Out of menus, need 500 more by tomorrow morning, and on and on. And what do we do? And it gives us their options and just a response back. This is the tell me a knock-knock joke version of using AI. Simple information in, simple information back. We can do better. And so very quickly, I'm going to move on to the upgraded prompt. You can get this at AI4printers.com if you are catching this by recording. But for those of you attending live, I'm going to drop that in here as well. And we'll show you what that looks like. Okay, that is coming into the chat. You should see that. You can copy and paste that if you'd like. And I've also pre-run that one, so we'll take a very short look at that as well. What is that upgraded prompt look like? So we've dropped it in. This is the exact same thing I just put into the meeting chat. You can use that and put it into your AI. And we're telling AI, now we're giving AI a very specific assignment. We're saying you, AI, are an instructional experience designer helping me create a realistic branching learning scenario for my print shop team. And then we're telling AI to ask me for the specific role or department this scenario is for, the workplace challenge or decision they faced, the key skill or judgment area you want this scenario to strengthen. So that gives AI a little more freedom to ask us for more information. And then AI continues. I'm continuing with AI saying, once I provide that, build a complete branching scenario that includes a short narrative, the decision points and outcome paths, and short feedback messages. Staying high level on that, you can run that on your own. But if you were to look at that, if you're running it right now, you should see something like this. And just like we told AI, we said, ask me for the role, the workplace challenge, and the skill or judgment area. Well, there it is, the role, the workplace challenge, and the skill or judgment area. And I dropped those in there. I gave AI this information. I said, this is a bindery issue. The blade on the cutter is getting dull, and they need to decide if they want to take the time to replace the blade or keep on cutting with a dull blade. The area that I'm looking at the skill is quality control. And from there, AI keeps on going, and it builds this whole scenario. Okay, here's our decision point. What do you do? Which path do you want to take? And we can follow that all the way through. We're getting more information. Okay, I'm not going to go terribly deep into that. You can try that on your own, but that's the example of what that upgraded prompt might look like. And now we're going to look, again, very briefly, this is the exact same prompt we'll look at the end of the workshop, the AI workflow prompt. This one is part of the AI MBA. That's one of the services that we offer here. It's from a course called Designing and Developing Training Programs. If you were at the last workshop, this is kind of a complement to the one that we did at the last workshop. And they kind of work hand in hand. It's kind of a bigger part of the course. So you're going to get this AI workflow prompt as part of today's workshop. And again, let me just go back and show you high level what that is. In some ways, it's similar to that workflow prompt, the upgraded prompt, but we're just taking all this information and pasting it in. I'll tell you more about that later, but the end result is that now positions us to work with AI. And a few of the characteristics of using an AI workflow prompt is AI is going to set the stage. It's going to work through a number of steps. Defining the challenge is the first step in this case, and it's asking us to provide more information. Now, in this particular case, it remembered enough from the previous conversations that got here where it even suggested saying like, okay, well, here's where I think you're probably going. Did a pretty good job. You can see the similarities. The role is bindery, a guillotine cutter operator. Situation, a mid-run on a 5,000 seat job. We notice fuzzy edges and increased clamp marks. What tension does that create? Replacing the blade pauses production. And primary skill focus, quality control. We can keep going into the details. That's step one. And I'm just simply saying, yep, you got it. That's correct. It moves on to step two. Every step of the way, we're checking with AI is checking with context. I'm going to fast forward here now because there's an interesting thing that happens in here. And we'll talk about this as we go too. Step three, it asks for more information. And I noticed something. I said, AI said something about the stack feels a bit heavier. And I'm saying, well, that's not true. The stack isn't going to change weight at all. So we're not giving AI the ability just to run on its own forever. We're asking AI to come alongside us. We're there to course correct it, as I did in this case. Fast forward to the end, I have something now that if I were working with my employees and in a print shop environment, we can use this as a training scenario. That's the high level overview of that. We'll dig a little bit deeper into that later, closer towards the end of the workshop. But I did want to start there so that you can all get a feel for that progression. Simple prompt to an upgraded prompt to an AI workflow prompt. So here is another check-in. I'd like you to give me some feedback. Which one of those matches the way that you are using AI today? And there's no right or wrong answer here. Everyone's just somewhere on the journey. Where are you at on your journey? Are you using simple prompts? Are you using upgraded prompts? Or are you using AI in a meaningful way that is more in line with AI coming alongside you to do the work like AI workflow prompt? So I'll take a few moments. If everyone can just take a moment to answer in the way that you feel matches up with your usage of AI. I'll just do another one of those awkward pauses till we get some answers. I see a number of them coming in, a lot of A's, a B, so that's good. And that's not unusual. Everyone has their starting point. Everyone is somewhere on the journey. So the rest of you, if you can add in where you are at in your AI journey, are you an A, simple prompt, B, upgraded prompt type of person, or are you using AI as the workflow prompt suggests? All right, and we've got a D, none of the above new to AI. That's perfect too. I'll have to add that answer into the deck here. So for you, we'll want to reveal the potential of AI. Hopefully you'll unpack that as we see that as we unpack the rest of this. All right, let's do it. Thank you all for dropping in your answers. Let's keep on going here. Here's our agenda. Now we're going to get into the bigger, meatier part of the presentation. And we are here to talk about you plus AI skill development. We're here to talk about the 3 actions needed to become an AI workflow master. Go back to that slide earlier where we talked about AI workflow masters. 3 actions that you can take to become an AI workflow master. 3 opportunities that exist for AI workflow masters. And then finally, the 3 options for participating in an AI saturated world. Spoiler alert. Here's what's coming is you will have the opportunity to claim the Company Champion Certification Scholarship. That's $4,000 of AI certifications and training. And if you want to claim that, you can send your email address into the chat at any time. Make sure it's your work email address. Our platform requires a work email address and not a free one like Gmail or iCloud. So you can claim that scholarship. Another thing that is very important to note, you're all in the sweet spot right now because the training that we're offering is getting a refresh. This scholarship will no longer be offered after tomorrow, but you can claim it now and I can still honor that scholarship. And then you still have the path for the upgraded version of the training too. So because you're here live, you are getting that sweet spot moment between today and tomorrow. I won't be able to offer that scholarship any longer than that. So go ahead and if you want to take that scholarship, go ahead and drop your work email into that chat. What is the scholarship? Again, more details at the end. There's two pieces to it. There is the AI Workflow Practitioner certification. There you'll have 9 ready-to-use business-focused AI workflows. That's for you and for everyone on your team that can show the world that you know how to use AI in this meaningful way. There's a certification that comes along with that. The other part of the scholarship is the AI Workflow Expert certification. That is 8 self-paced workshops. Honestly, there's really 9. There's kind of an introductory course there as well. So 9 self-paced workshops that teach you how to build AI workflows, just like the ones that we looked at earlier. Then you also get the AI Workflow Expert certification to promote your new AI builder skills. That one is available for one person in the company. The previous one, the Workflow Practitioner, is available for everyone in your company. But with you being here live, you can claim it, and then you would be the one that gets the AI Workflow Expert certification. Who's claiming these scholarships? These are the serious AI people. Serious AI people, that's people that either are or want to become AI workflow masters. If you don't feel like a serious AI person yet, today is where we change that. It's within your reach. You will be a serious AI person by the end of this workshop. Okay, so just a reminder, if you want to get that scholarship for free, that's something you need to do on this call, or certainly no later than tomorrow when the scholarship kind of resets to the updated program. So if you think you might drop off before the end, just drop your work email into the chat and claim your scholarship. All right, let's now talk about the 3 actions associated with AI skill development, and that is productivity, performance, and engagement. Starts with this simple question: how can AI help me do my work faster and easier? And AI will help us build a toolkit of all of our areas of responsibility and the daily work that we do in those areas of responsibility. That's how we start answering that question: how can AI help me do my work faster and easier? So get your AI tool ready. In a moment, I'm going to give you the AI instructions. I should say it differently. I will give you the instructions that you will give to your AI to build your own productivity toolkit. What you'll see is it'll come up with what it would guess is your areas of responsibility, and it'll be customized to your areas of responsibility, similar to what I have on the screen here. We're assuming the role of sales and marketing and commercial printing. What are those areas of responsibility? They're listed out on the screen. When we run this tool, they'll just kind of move up to the top of the grid, and this will become your job, your role responsibilities. Then the grid is going to fill in with the daily work that you do within each area of responsibility. It looks like a lot of information on the screen, and you have permission to ignore that for now because we'll bring more attention to that in a bit. But right now, we're going to take a few moments so that you can create this toolkit for your role. And to do that, I'm going to give you this prompt. Before I do, I'm going to drop it into the chat. Before I do, when you get it, do not run it right away. There's one small modification, customization, I guess would be a better way of saying it, that will ask you to make. I will talk you through that. The other thing is, this is another wall of words, looks like a ton of information. The reason it looks like a ton of information is because it's a ton of information. Do not let that intimidate you. If you can copy and paste, you can do this. And so let's do that. Here comes the prompt. I'm going to add it to the chat. Remember, copy it, but don't run it yet. But go ahead and get that ready. And I'm going to open up a new chat window over here. And you can do the same. And you can paste it. Again, don't run it, just paste it. And what I want you to do is take a look at those first 3 lines. That's the part that you need to customize for your role. So what is your role? If you are here and you are the owner, then you don't need to change that. You can use that as is. If it's anything else, go ahead and change it to your role. Put in your company size and then put in your industry, which for everyone here, I'm assuming, is going to be commercial printing. But if for whatever reason you're here and you're not in commercial printing, you can run this too, change it to your industry. So you can run that in for those. And actually, I need to go back just for a moment. I'm going to go for mine. I'm just going to open up a new demo. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to drop it in here and go ahead and run that. And you will see your personal productivity kit starts to show up here. The first draft of your AI productivity toolkit for the owner of a commercial printing company, 10 employees. And we're going to see that starts to show up on your screen. So I'll just talk you through a little bit of what's happening here. My screen is a little bit smaller, so I have to scroll left and right a bit. You might need to do that as well. Again, if you can copy and paste, and maybe make those little adjustments, you can do this. And you're going to come up with this wall of words. Okay, so this is your first look at your productivity toolkit. What AI is saying is your productivity toolkit. Our experience shows that it's going to be 80 to 90% accurate right out of the box just by running that prompt with those basic customizations. So you can scan through yours, and if you're seeing anything that's just a red flag, says, nope, that is just not me. You know, AI is not perfect, but it's going to be pretty darn good. But if you're seeing something that's just not right, like for instance, risk management and compliance, maybe you don't do that, or whatever it is, or maybe there's a certain cell in here, just go ahead and have that conversation with AI. I don't do risk management and compliance. Come up with something else for that column, whatever you want to do. I'm just going to put that one in there. You don't have to do that right now, but as you're doing that, know that this is your first interaction with AI to say, let's make this even more correct. So just have those natural language conversations that bring your version of the productivity toolkit to life. I'm going to let mine keep running there. And let's go back to what we are looking at now. So on my screen, this is a complete productivity toolkit for sales and marketing in commercial printing. What's on your screen, if you've run that prompt, that's not a toolkit yet. What you have, what really is there, is a toolbox with a bunch of labels on it. We still need to put the tools into that toolkit. So how do you fill it with the tools? Well, what's on my screen is that completed toolkit. All the tools are in one place, one for each box. And so one of the ways is you can just push the easy button and say, yep, Dave, I'd like that toolkit, and we can get that for you. That's the first way to do it, is you just get that pre-built toolkit. The other way is later I'll show you how you can build the tools for your own toolkit too. So we've been talking about AI workflows earlier when we did the simple to the upgraded to the AI workflow prompts. These are the AI workflows. So just to be clear, every tool in this toolkit is an AI workflow. So I want to show you how just one of those AI workflows from this toolkit works. And we're going to use this lead scoring model. And that's under the lead generation and prospecting category here. So what that looks like is an AI workflow like this. And I am going to go ahead and run that. And now we're going to show you in a little more detail how an AI workflow prompt works. So let me get my copy and pasting ready and go back to my chat here. I'm going to open up a new chat window. And if you can copy and paste, you can use an AI workflow. So I already copied. There's the paste. In this case, I don't need to customize anything. This is going to self-customize as we go here. So the goal here is, well, I should have maybe switched this over to the instant mode, but we'll let AI do a little bit of its own thinking here. Always amazes me how much time is getting trimmed off before we get impatient. It used to take me 3 minutes to get impatient. Now I'm down to about 10 seconds, it seems like. So we'll just let this run in its thinking mode here. And the thinking that it's doing, it represents a lot of work. This is the kind of work that used to take hours or maybe even days. And even though we're kind of staring it down saying, this is taking a while, it's actually getting a lot of work done very quickly. If it doesn't pop up here in a moment, well, there it comes, 40 seconds. Okay, there's my new threshold for getting impatient, 40 seconds, I guess. We'll let it keep on thinking here. Well, maybe I'm not going to let it keep on thinking as long as I thought. We'll maybe come back to that. What I will do is I'm going to go back to the pre-run version of this. Oh, I'm sorry. I am still in the wrong one here. Let me try this again. We are in the productivity lead scoring model. Just go back just for a second. Yeah, it's still working here. So I'm going to, oh, here it comes. Okay, sorry, I'm giving you a little bit of motion sickness going between those two windows. So we'll stick with the live one here. This AI workflow prompt is now ready to build this out end to end for a commercial printer. We've made a ready-to-use Excel template that you can plug in to your CRM or marketing ops. I've not seen it generate a template on the fly before, so that's interesting. That's probably where the extra thinking was coming in. So it's walking through what we're going to do here. So just to avoid all of that extra thinking, I will go back to the pre-run version of that and go all the way back up to the top. So this is the exact same thing that I just pasted in while we are working with AI. And this is the kind of thing you can expect to see. So we are going to begin building the lead scoring model for commercial printing sales following the instructions that we've outlined. Here's step one. So AI is coming to us and saying, what are we needing to accomplish in step one? And it's even proposing some information there. And AI is saying that for us to do this lead scoring model, let's clarify the why behind this model. Are you currently overwhelmed by the number of leads without a way to rank them? Do unqualified leads take up sales time unnecessarily? Is there a disconnect between marketing and sales around what defines a good lead? Are high-value opportunities slipping through the cracks because all leads are treated equally? All of those sound like really good objectives. And so we can just let AI do a lot of that thinking for us. It's already filled in a lot of the blanks. It all comes down to this: do these objectives align with your sales priorities at Print Perfect? I've set this up to act as a demo for Print Perfect. So before we move on, AI is always checking with us. Is this in alignment with what you are expecting? And if they align, we say, yep, that's good. Let's keep going. And if not, we come back in and we say, no, you might need to check this. Let's recalibrate here. That's on that first step. If we get that first step right, all of the other steps that follow kind of march in the right direction. And so this is a multi-step way of working with AI. We move on to the next step. Once AI and us are in agreement that step one is done, then we can move on to step two, which is identifying high-value lead attributes. AI is asking more context. It's time to define the firmographic and demographic traits that make a prospect ideal for Print Perfect. Let's define your best fit customers. What type of businesses make up your best customers? What's the typical company size? Are there industries that are particularly valuable or stable for you? And so on. AI is gathering more context, and we respond. My best customers are local, small and mid-sized businesses. You'll put in your own answers, of course, and so on. We just keep on giving that information. AI uses that information, does its thinking, and comes back and says, here's what I heard you say, and now let's turn that into the high-value lead attributes. And our role here is to either say, yep, that's good, or say where an adjustment needs to be made. And we keep going through that step by step where AI is going to check in with us. Say, okay, in step 3, what are the engagement signals? And it asks for context, and does it match up with our expectations? We come in, we course correct if needed, or we give AI permission to continue. Step 4 is we assign weights and scoring rules. Okay, not all scoring parts are equal here. So how do we do this? AI is giving us a suggestion. It's up to us to say, yep, that's right, or nope, let's change direction here a little bit. On and on. Step 5, implementing a system for score updates. More context, we confirm. Step 6 is integrating it into the sales process. AI suggests how we do that. And step 7 is the final review and implementation. So even though it took me a little bit of time to kind of talk through that, the time that represents is huge. It takes me a few minutes to talk through it, but what we're talking about is hours, if not days of work that's getting compressed down into just one short work session with an AI workflow. A couple of other things to note is once we start using AI, humans are lazy. You saw what I did here a few times. My role is to say, yep, continue. I can just be lazy and say, yep, looks good, continue. Now, of course, we don't want to get fully lazy. We still want to be engaged. We want to continue to course correct with AI. But the point is, we're not starting from scratch. We're letting AI give us a starting point, and then we are taking that opportunity to fill in the blanks and adjust that as needed. So if you combine those two things, that humans are lazy and that AI is amazing at filling in gaps when we're lazy, combining those two things means a lot of work gets done very, very quickly. And AI will always pull information out of you too to make that session more productive. All right, let's go back. I lost my screen there. There we go. Let's go back to the deck here. And now we are at the first of 3 turkey problems. So you get bonus points if you catch all 3 turkey slides in this presentation. This is the first one. I experienced the turkey problem head on when it became clear that AI was going to impact the way that we provide marketing services to help you sell more printing. This is from a book called The Black Swan, The Turkey Problem. It's an amazing book published somewhere around 2009, I think. And it's about the fact that we live in a very unpredictable world where the things that matter the most for the long-term success of the economy and our society and really everything else, that can all be changed in a moment by something unpredictable that comes out of nowhere. So what do you do when you live in a world like that? Well, in one of the chapters, the author talks about what he calls the turkey problem. The turkey problem goes like this. The turkey wakes up every single day and is predictably cared for by a farmer. It gets fed every single morning. It gets to go out and play in the yard with its turkey friends. And it has a really nice place to hang out every single night. So this turkey is basically taken care of. And that cycle repeats itself day after day after day after day until eventually the turkey says that this is what being a turkey must be like. And life will be this way forever. Until that one day, usually right before a holiday like Thanksgiving, where a turkey ends up on the table, something changes. The farmer comes out, grabs the turkey by the neck, and all of a sudden, it's lights out for the turkey. Well, the turkey problem shows up like this in the real world when it comes to AI and the way we think about it. The turkey problem says, okay, AI can do this task, but I don't need to pay attention because it can't do, and then fill in the blank. And take a look at your productivity toolkits that you've already created. Fill in the blank with whatever item seems most impossible for AI to do. Here's what I want to suggest. If it's on your screen right now in the productivity toolkit, and you created that one just for yourself. So if it's on your screen, if it's in your toolkit, not only can AI help you do it, but in your current role, you plus AI can do the job at least 10 times faster with no compromise in quality and usually an increase in quality. All right, let's break that one down a little bit because there's some important points in there. There's several parts of that. So AI can help you do the job at least 10 times faster. I hope in the few examples we've put on the screen so far of using an AI workflow that you're already seeing that. There should be no question that AI can help you do the job at least 10 times faster. How about the next part with no compromise in quality? Well, that's why AI workflows, that we're doing the work with AI workflows step by step, because your part of that is you're the checkpoint to make sure that the quality is there. You are quality control. So we check that box, no compromise in quality. If there's a problem with quality, that finger comes back and points right at us there. So do your quality control part, and then we can check that box. And then that last part, and usually an increase in quality. And that statement kind of makes people bristle sometimes. And I don't know that I could have even said that with a straight face even 2 years ago. But AI is progressing fast, and that is becoming increasingly true over time, that AI will usually add an increase in quality as well. So that's what it means in your current role. How about your future role? That means you can also significantly accelerate and in many times skip the lengthy learning process. That's why we learn by doing. When we do the work with AI, the learning happens along with that. Okay, so now let's go back to our grid again. If you think about your productivity toolkit that we just created, most people are going to find 5 or 10 workflows in that productivity toolkit, maybe even more, that are going to really move the needle and save you a bunch of time. It's not unusual to find that people will shave maybe 20% off of their daily work time with the items that are in that productivity toolkit. Here's how you can think about that. If you're used to doing your job Monday through Friday and you shave off 20% of that time, now you can do your work Monday through Thursday and take time on Friday to be more strategic. Of course, calendars don't always fit into nice tidy boxes like that, but AI will open up that time for you to be more strategic. And that's what takes us to the next part, which is we talk about performance experiments. And so with AI, a great way to become more strategic is to run what we call performance experiments. And whoever runs the most performance experiments wins. Let's bring that closer to our world. If you're the printer running the most performance experiments, AI will help you be the printer that wins. So let's take a look at those performance experiments and have your AI ready again. And I'm going to give you instructions that you can use to now build your own performance experiments toolkit. So similar to what we looked at before, we're going to build a grid. You will see key performance indicators like these, and they're going to just kind of go into position on the top. And in plain English, these are the things that you are responsible for doing better over time in your role. So that's the first part of this performance toolkit. And now, when you fill in the columns, this time you're going to see a combination of experts in the field and known strategies from those experts to help you get the results that you desire. Okay, so we're going to do this one. Go back hands-on. I'm going to drop this prompt in here for you now. This will help you create your performance experiment toolkit. Let me get that one loaded up under my cursor so I can drop that in. And this will come into the meeting chat, and hang on to that and we'll walk through how to do that. Sometimes when I drop this in, the meeting chat interprets some of the information in there as emojis, some weird smiley faces. And if that's happening to you, don't worry about it. When you copy it out and paste it back, it'll unemoji and turn back into what we need it to do. Okay, so what do we do with that? So you can go ahead and copy that. And I'm going to go back to my productivity toolkit. And I will collapse the sidebar so we can do that. So you can be on your productivity toolkit. And now this time, we're just going to go ahead and paste it in there. You do not need to customize anything this time because it already remembers everything from before. So this time, paste it and run it. And you're going to see your own toolkit, your performance experiment toolkit come to life. Here's mine coming on the screen. Again, we're seeing the KPIs show up across the top. And then dropping in the columns below now are the experts and the solutions that they recommend on how to make those experiments run to improve that KPI. Again, my screen is small, so I have to scroll left and right. And we're just going to go ahead and let that one drop in. Okay, so I'm going to let that one run. And let's go back to our presentation here. So as yours is running and creating, it should see something like this. Now we're back to the role of sales and marketing in commercial printing. Another wall of text. Doesn't look very interesting as a wall of text, but keep in mind what it represents. It's very interesting then, because this is the time that it saves and the value it creates. If we run each one of these experiments, that's tens and thousands of dollars worth of work that just kind of shows up in front of your screen. We're compressing clock time and calendar time to get that kind of work done very quickly. So we're looking at the Performance Experiment Toolkit with AI workflows for sales and marketing in commercial printing. This is another toolkit on my screen that's ready for you to use. That's that easy button way of doing it to get started. But if you want to learn how to build these AI workflows for yourself and for your toolkit, we're coming up to that part where you'll see how to do that in a few moments. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the value of just one of these performance experiment toolkits from the Sales and Marketing and Commercial Printing Toolkit here. And we are going to look at Blake Morgan's idea on how to increase retention through hyper-personalized experiences. So I'm going to go back to my AI again, and again, I'm just going to stay really high level on this one because we've already looked at an AI workflow, and in many ways, this is going to be very similar to what we've already seen, but I do want to show it to you. Here it is. Same idea, AI workflows. I'm going to go all the way back up to the top. We just copy and paste, we drop it in, we start working with AI. AI comes alongside of us and says, here's where we're going. Let's do step one. Let's analyze the current level of personalization. It's giving us the instructions on how to give it information, more context. Do you personalize emails? Does your website show dynamic content? And on and on. And so we provide that information. AI says, okay, I've got that information. And here's what I think about your hyper-personalization strategy. You have some good things. There's some key gaps we need to talk about. And we look at that and say, do you agree? Here's where it asks us to do that quality control. And we can continue, or we can take that moment and change the direction just a little bit so that AI is thinking in the right way. Again, I'll stay really high level on this one. Then we go on to step two, define customer data points for personalization. We give AI the context it's asking for. AI does its work and asks us to confirm or agree. And all the way through. Step three, implement AI-driven customer segmentation. Step four, design hyper-personalized customer journeys. Step five, hyper-personalized, one more here. There we go. Step five, automated personalized interactions across channels. All the way through, we get to step six, measure and optimize personalization performance. Step seven is our final deliverable, the hyper-personalization strategy. Same idea, same AI workflow idea, where we are now running a performance experiment. So let's go back to that and say, what does that mean? So this is the one that we just looked at here. We can just go right past that one. And let's take a look at that performance experiment toolkit again. Everything on here in your toolkit can be turned into a bunch of experiments to help you move forward. AI can help you run those experiments in a hugely efficient manner. So here's how we can think about this. Whoever runs the most performance experiments wins. That's a big deal. If we make it again closer to our world, if you're the printer running the most performance experiments, AI will help you be the printer that wins. Let's talk about that just a little bit more. Every business goal can be improved by running experiments. Out of the 10 ideas that you try, most will move the needle in the right direction. One might even backfire and move the needle in the wrong direction. That's part of experimenting. It's like, yep, that one didn't work. And somewhere in that mix, you're going to find that breakthrough idea. The only way to find that breakthrough idea is to run the experiments. Because if you just knew what that idea was right away, you wouldn't have to run the experiments to find it. Here's the key. Speed is what changes the game. AI doesn't just give you more ideas. It helps you test them 10 times faster. So imagine this. Imagine that you and I are exactly equally skilled, but you worked by running experiments the old way, while I use AI to run experiment after experiment. And by the end of the quarter, I'll have run 20 experiments in the same time it took you to run two. And guess who wins? That's why we say whoever runs the most performance experiments wins. And that is what takes us to turkey slide number 2. You should be able to say two things. You should now be able to say that AI can help me be more productive. You saw that when we created the lead scoring model, when we used other AI workflows. You should also be able to say AI can help me run experiments fast to find the best wins. And you might also be saying, but it can't replace my expertise. So if you ran the prompt to create your own list of performance experiments and then looked at those experiments for your current role, what you'll find is that you plus AI can run the performance experiments at least 10 times faster with no compromise in quality and usually an increase in quality, not compared to yourself without AI, but compared to the world's top experts. So not only is your expertise in danger, every expert's expertise is in danger. And this is the major aha moment for people in this new AI world. The real disruption is not just that your expertise is at risk. Every expert's expertise is at risk. All right, that maybe sounds a little bit scary, but it has a better ending. So let's keep going. Let's talk about engagement. How do we prove that this is real? Well, we need to do two things. We need to track results, and we need to communicate progress and expertise in the form of certifications. So we have a process that we just very simply look at: what did you work on? How long did it take you to do it with AI? And how long did it take you to do before without AI? That's going to calculate a number, and your job is to make that number go up as high as you possibly can for everyone on your team. And if you don't think measuring progress is a big deal, just think about the last time you posted on LinkedIn or any social media. What's the first thing you did? You go ahead and grab your magic wand of a device here and you start tracking the results and checking progress. You're looking for that red dot saying, oh, someone just responded, or whatever it is. That's what makes social media so addicting to so many people. Tracking makes an enormous difference in engagement. The second thing is certifications. The certifications are what mark and reward your progress. The certifications allow you to prove your AI expertise and promote it for you and your team to show the world that you know how to use AI to get results. This is what shows that you can use AI for more than simple tell me a knock-knock joke prompts. Okay, so we are about 45 minutes in, and we are actually getting close to the finish line, probably about 10 minutes away before we get the AI workflow prompts for you. So let's take a look at the opportunities that result from being an AI workflow master. What we know is that every time there's a major shift in technology, there are orders of magnitude of opportunity created in the economy. We've lived through some of these already. There's the PC revolution. Microsoft came out of nowhere. Now they're world famous and fabulously wealthy. Internet revolution. Amazon came out of nowhere. Social media. Facebook had to come out of nowhere at one point. Same thing for transportation. Uber came out of nowhere. It wasn't, and all of a sudden, there it was. And now that's for us too. How do we find these opportunities and come out of nowhere? We see the opportunities and we take action. That's all there is to it. So what are those opportunities? The first one is opportunity number one. That's for the employees. If you're here as an employee, you can upskill yourself as an employee. You're running the equipment, you're managing the projects, you're keeping the jobs flowing. If that's you, AI can help you do the work of 10 people, not by replacing anyone, but by making you way more valuable. I think there's always been that stigma that says if I'm going to start using AI to do my work, I'm going to work myself out of a job and get fired. Employees can be worried that they're going to set themselves up to be replaced by AI and then let go. But think about it. Who's really getting let go? It's not the person that's using AI to do the work of 10 people. It's the other 9 people that are not being productive that are going to get let go. So I won't camp out on this one too long today, but if you're in a specific role, there's a lot of upside for you. And then, of course, as a business owner, you want these kind of employees. Workflow Master opportunity number 2, that's for solopreneurs, the freelancers, consultants, designers, specialists who support print shops from the outside. With AI, you can scale your solo operation by delivering more value faster. Experts are saying in the next few years, we're going to see the world's first billion-dollar valuation solopreneur company, which just sounds crazy, but it's coming. We actually have some of these already in the form of the $1 million, $10 million, and $100 million solopreneurs. And as a printer, there's a number of printers that I've talked with that they may be ready to transition to their encore career. That maybe has more of a solopreneur feel. AI can help you get there. For today, though, we're going to keep moving because most of you on this call are inside the print shop and not orbiting around it as a solopreneur. So let's talk about what really moves the needle if you own the whole thing. That is opportunity number 3 as the employer, where you want to make more money as the company. Now the focus shifts to the team that you employ. What happens when an organization full of people starts to apply these AI mastery methods to their roles? You get to the point where the employer that builds a team with the most AI workflow masters wins. That's a biggie. Whoever has the team with the most AI workflow masters wins. You move faster than your competitors. You find new opportunities. You execute the most AI-powered performance experiments. You will be positioned to be the printer and marketing services provider that emerges out of the AI revolution. So that gives you 3 options to consider. The first option is the do nothing option. You might guess that that's probably not a really good option to consider. We're going to soon be living in a world that expects you to use AI to do the work of 10 people. You don't do that by doing nothing. So it's not enough to have that fleeting familiarity with AI. You need to know how to use AI to come alongside you to do real work every day. That real work, that's all those boxes for those AI workflows that we talked about on those 2 grids that we just created. That's the kind of work we're talking about. We can go back to Andrew Wilkinson's job posting for a moment. There's an interesting line in there where he says, would never hire a lawyer unless you absolutely had to. And on first glance, that might seem out of place, but here's really what he's saying. He's saying he would never spend company resources on external service providers unless you had first tried to solve the problem with AI yourself. And then and only then are you allowed to spend company resources on expensive outside service providers. That's the world we're moving into. So the turkey does nothing. And so please don't do nothing. Don't be a turkey. You don't have to be a turkey. You can turn into an AI eagle and do something. It can be a tough year next year for a lot of people if you're not keeping up with that AI world. But it can also be a very, very good year if we can help you get focused on the opportunities for AI workflow masters. There's another option too. You can do it yourself. And if you decide to do something, you really can do it yourself. You can, but keep in mind that it will take time for you to filter through all of the AI noise and buzz and hype to find the good stuff. And if you do it yourself, you have to hope that you can just get your AI skills to the point where you can stay ahead of all of the advances in AI. And that happens so fast these days. And you can find others to help you do it too. Just spend a few moments on social media and you'll find plenty of ads offering AI help. But consider this, if you've seen some things here today that you've not seen before, that might suggest to you that my AI community understands some things about AI that others do not, and that you might want to consider continuing your AI journey with marketing ideas for printers, because we are laser focused on helping printers with their AI journey. That's why we have this scholarship, and that's why we offer the training, this Company Champion Certification Scholarship. That's $4,000 in AI training and certifications. It's yours for free if you add your email address to this chat by the time we wrap up this session, and we can get you set up with the scholarship. Just as a reminder, I can only do that for today and tomorrow before the next version of the platform comes out. So it's a really sweet spot to be able to get the current version of the scholarship and be in position for where we go next. So here's what that includes. Again, just to recap that, it includes the AI Workflow Practitioner certification. That's 9 AI workflows that you and everyone on your team can use. You can get the certification that comes along with it, which is very easy to get. That's how you can show the whole world that you can apply AI to real-world business challenges. That comes as part of the scholarship for everyone on your team. It's normally $1,000 to do that, but because of my relationship with Simple, I'm able to provide that as part of this scholarship. Then the other part of it is the AI Workflow Expert certification. That's available for one person in your company. That's 9 workshops with that introductory workshop, self-paced workshops designed to take you from an AI novice to an AI workflow expert. That is going to result in your AI Workflow Expert certification. That's also what's going to teach you how you can build your own AI workflows from scratch. So you can start filling in those grids there. You can earn that expert level AIWE credential to promote your new AI builder skills. Normally that's $3,000, but because of my relationship with Simple, I'm able to offer that as part of that scholarship at no charge. And then finally, the scholarship also includes a 30-day preview of the AI MBA, which is a collection of over 3,200 AI workflows that help your team in 7 areas of business like strategy, sales, and HR. There's a ton of ready-to-use focused AI assistance in the AI MBA. The AI workflow prompt I'll share in just a moment. That's from the AI MBA. Just remember, I won't be able to offer that scholarship after tomorrow, so you're in that sweet spot. If you want to claim that scholarship now, I can still honor the 30-day trial of the AI MBA. You'll still have the path for the upgraded version of the training too. So really in a good spot for you to take advantage of that. So we'll start wrapping things up. The future belongs to AI workflow masters. In your current role, you'll be able to do the work of 10 people using AI. Your future role, you'll be able to learn new roles and skills 10 times faster, and you'll get the certifications that prove what you can do with AI. One more thing is, for me, this is very personal. I started exploring AI partly out of curiosity, but mostly because I wanted to make sure that my company, Marketing Ideas for Printers, was prepared for a world about to be saturated with AI. But it became a lot more than that. Like I said, it's personal. I've spent my career helping printers succeed, and I've never, ever seen a shift like this one before. AI is not a trend, it's a transformation, and you can approach this transformation not with fear, but with confidence. And I want you to have the tools, the confidence, and the support to not only keep up with AI, but to lead with AI. That's why we built the AI for Printers program. It's specifically for printers like you because it fits perfectly with our promise of helping you sell more printing. So with that, we'll wrap things up and we'll get ready to share the workflow prompt for those of you that are here live. And so if you're here live, stick around. I'll stop the recording in just a moment. I'll give you today's featured AI workflow prompt from the AI MBA. We can run it together and you'll walk away with a real win. If you're watching the recording, you can also access the featured AI workflow prompt plus all 3,200 others when you request your scholarship at aiforprinters.com. That's available today and tomorrow. Okay, I'll stop the recording and we'll continue with those of you that are here live in just a moment here.